Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Justin Charles, John Nye, and Josh All.
What's up, Browns fans? Welcome back to another episode of the Dawgs Podcast presented by Omaha Steaks. Josh and Justin with you today, and we've only got one question for everybody. Who's ready for some Cleveland Browns playoff football?
God, man. Wow, that was... You told me to bring the energy.
You're going to bring the energy. I bring the energy
holy crap,
first.
I just wasn't prepared
calm
for that.
down a little bit.
No, don't do that, man. Keep that going. Keep that energy. I like that, man. I feel like I can, maybe just relax a little bit.
We have been sitting here just BSing back and forth, waiting for 5 o'clock to start, so that way, we could do this show. We've been talking about the Browns this season, the playoff push, everything coming up this weekend, and I'm jazzed. I'm so energized. I'm so pumped for this team. I'm pumped for the playoffs, this opportunity. We're going to get into everything, but man, it's a great time.
It's a great time to be a Cleveland Browns fan. I'm just very proud,
Absolutely.
I'm just very proud of the team. But man, we've been talking. I'm going into it my expectations are I'm super excited, but I'm not nervous. And it's not even I'm going into it it's an egotistical thing about our team. I just feel like we're kind of playing with house money. We're kind of going to be the underdogs all the way through this thing. So let's see what happens. I'm excited. I'm stoked. Can't wait.
What we've done already this season has really never been done before. So, you're right. At this point, as a fan, sure, it's house money. But we were talking before the show, that's not the players' mentality. The players are dialed in. They're here because they believe they're supposed to be here. That's been the mentality from, when Kevin Stefanski took everybody over to West Virginia, before that Hall of Fame game. Yep. And it was just that mentality, that brotherhood, that next man up psyche of it doesn't matter what happens.
No,
we are a great team, and we're supposed to be where we're at.
The guys in the locker room believe it. The guys in the locker room absolutely believe that this is where they're supposed to be. So, man, it's been a while. It really hasn't, if you think about it. It's only been a few years since, our last, but I felt the expectations in 2000 was how far can we take this thing? But it was just oh man, it was just a weird year. It was the COVID thing, not even the fans of Cleveland could really experience that whole thing. So for me, I'm just very, very, very excited. Can't wait for Saturday. God, this week is just dragged on too. I've just had to defend the Browns over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. I just want them to go shock the world.
And, we'll get into all that, and we'll kind of give our predictions and what we expect. Now, it doesn't mean that's going to happen, but we'll talk about it all. Before we dive into everything else with this episode today for you guys, I want to remind you, check us out. Titter. Wow.
that is, I don't know what that is. I'm not selling any feet pics or anything like that, guys. Nobody wants to see. No, bro.
All right, fine.
My feet
How about Twitter? How about we do that instead? Actually, it's called X.
There you go.
And then TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. And, if you're listening on audio, we appreciate all of our audio listeners, Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, everywhere. And then last but not least, if you guys want more Dawgs content, head to jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dogpack member. Get into the Discord for this weekend, for this playoff game. The Discord has just, it's been awesome.
Yes.
Since we started it. But recently it has absolutely exploded.
Beyond expectations, almost like our Cleveland Browns of 2020.
Yeah. This is my new Cleveland Browns news feed. We were talking about that. I don't need to get on Twitter or Bleacher Report or look up anything online. All the updates, the stats, the analytics, everything you want to know about the Browns right now.
The hype videos.
You guys in the Discord, you're awesome. Keep it going. We love you guys. It's been amazing. So jointhedawgs.com. Get in the Discord for this weekend. It's a ton of fun.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, if you want, head to thedawgspodcast.com/shop. You can get a flack around and find out t-shirt like I got on right now.
Fire.
Thank you, buddy.
Straight fire, dog.
I feel like this was going to happen this weekend. I feel like the Texans are going to flack around and find out. And let's just dive into it.
Okay. All right. Tee it up, man. What do you got?
Well, I think first we ought to talk about maybe some not so great news. Let's, do some injury talk first.
Oh boy. Okay.
So we'll just kick it off with the big one from today. Thursday practice, Justin had to remind me before the show that today's Thursday, not Friday. I'm all messed up. But Denzel Ward tweaked his knee in practice. Something happened. Last I read, Kevin Stefanski said he doesn't really have an update on it, just knows that he's now questionable heading into the weekend.
Very Bill Belichick answer at the press conference. Just not really a lot of info. Ian Rappaport later tweeted out, they said that they didn't think it was going to be serious.
Okay.
Or as bad as, like when we all saw the news, like we were like, oh my God, like here we go. But I mean, we're 2 days away. So, I mean, I feel like any kind of injury isn't great right now, especially a knee injury.
Right.
So they, Jake Trotter expects him to probably play. But I mean, you got to think that he probably isn't going to be 100%, right?
Right. So, I mean, if he's limited, the thing is our secondary has been banged up on one guy or another all season, it seems like.
Agreed.
Juan Thornhill's been in and out of the lineup. Grant Delpit's been in and out. Denzel's been out a few games. We missed Newsome for a couple games. Cam Mitchell. And guys just keep stepping up.
Correct. Yep.
Mike Ford is out for this game, so the Browns won't have him at corner, which I don't know if that's a huge liability or a miss for us because I wasn't totally impressed with his play this season.
It was there was moments that you were like, okay, but then there was a lot of moments where you're like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, like, could you cover somebody, please?
Correct.
Special teams ace, so obviously we're going to miss him, in that regard. But I don't know. I think, this is a huge playoff game. Denzel Ward is a pro. He's a veteran. He knows the importance of this game. I think he's probably going to give it a go would be my expectation. Now, does that mean he's limited? Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But again, we've got the guys to step up.
Going into this game, I felt like obviously the defense was going to be a huge strength of ours, but I was super optimistic on the idea of having those three core guys, Newsome, Emerson, and Ward out there.
Yeah.
So the idea of even missing, the top dog, I went into it going, well, hey, let's just Nico Collins lock down. You know what I mean? And so the idea of not having Ward, a little nerve-wracking, but let's see what happens. I mean, but geez, 2 days ago, I told him like, I know we got to practice, but do we got to practice? So like 2 days, they travel out tomorrow and I'm like, God, just unreal.
Well, and with the bye week essentially for guys like Denzel Ward last week, you get the extra time off to get really healthy for this game. And then it's that very last day of practice. It's damn, this sucks, but whatever. It's football. It is what it is.
Yes. Yep.
These things are going to happen. Ronald here in the chat's asking update on Thornhill. I'm seeing limited practices the last 2 days, questionable heading into the weekend.
Yep.
So, there's a chance we see both of Thornhill and Ward, but maybe they're just on a snap count, a little more limited.
Yep.
If there was a team that we had to go up against that we were a little bit banged up in the secondary, the Texans are a little limited at the wide receiver position.
Yes, they are.
Right now.
Yes, they are.
Robert Woods is old. He's been limited all week. He's questionable. Not really been a huge factor this year. Nico Collins is an absolute beast.
Yes, I agree.
For them, he exploded this season with CJ Stroud. But again, that's the big physical type of receiver that I think Martin Emerson can. I mean, he's had his way with these guys before.
Yep.
And outside of that, Tank Dell's done. We know that.
I think Tank Dell is a stud.
That's a huge for the Browns, not having to face him.
It's unfortunate when he went on IR. That's a kid that we liked him a lot, even on the podcast, and even like when we're talking about fantasy, we thought that he could be special, and I felt like he lived up to those expectations. Another guy, Noah Brown, he's been I don't think he's practiced yet. He might have came back today.
Let me look because you're right about. So he did. He practiced limited today, first time this week. Okay. He's heading into the weekend questionable as well. Right.
So like I told you, I said, I wasn't super, super worried about it. Interesting thing. I don't know if you have this on your stat stuff, but CJ Stroud, number one quarterback in the league against zone coverage.
I did see that.
And then I believe he was 27th in the league against man coverage. Browns like a lot of man coverage. We run it a lot. So I thought that was something that could play into our strengths. And then, just come on, Denzel. we're going to need you on Saturday, Denzel. Health up, man.
Definitely. So those numbers against man and zone for CJ Stroud are very interesting, and they do play in the Browns' favor. Another thing that plays in the Browns' favor, CJ Stroud, and I don't know where he ranks in this, but he has struggled this season under pressure. Okay. So I think we talked about this earlier in the week, 52.1% completion percentage when pressured this season. I don't think he's thrown any interceptions, but he's only thrown like 4 or 5 the entire season.
5, yeah.
As a rookie.
Season.
I mean, the guy takes care of the ball. He does not turn it over. So if we're counting on the Browns to intercept him and force him into turnovers, I don't know how likely that is. Now, it's safe to say he has never faced a defense like this. No. Because he did not play us the first time.
Nope. And then I guess if you could comp a defense, you have Baltimore. He went into that game week 1. Right. That was his first, hey, welcome to the NFL. Baltimore's coming, and, you have to play them. I think he's special. Like, CJ Stroud's a special kid. You have a rookie head coach and a rookie quarterback going into their first game. But I get the impression that I don't think that this is going to be like the lights are too bright for him. I don't think he's like that kind of guy. I expect this to be a kind of different. This isn't going to be like the first time around where we're facing Case Keenum and stuff like that. I feel like this is going to be a lot tougher, lot better matchup. For both teams, it's going to be a tough game. We're going into their building. For the love of God, can we not let Nico Collins break off a 70-yard, 5-yard touchdown right off the bat?
Yeah.
Let's limit that. You're talking about pressure and stuff like that, though. I think that's another big thing, going into the game is like, I think that front, we got to get pressure. I feel like when we're at home and we can get pressure, Blake's talked about it a million times, like the secondary looks a lot better. It's easier to lock down guys. I think that's a huge thing going into this game. I'd love to see Myles Garrett have a huge game. I didn't see about Tunsil if he's going to be playing. I know they're really banged up in a lot of positions. So, but yeah, I feel like we've got to get home.
I don't see Tunsil on the injury report. Okay. I mean, our injury report is, I think it's legitimately 3 times as long as theirs.
I believe that. That doesn't shock me at all.
If you pull it up, I mean, because they got them side by side, ours, it's enormous. It almost makes me want to puke. But
okay.
Well, and a lot of this stuff is rest. So, okay, fine, whatever. Right. But yeah, so Myles Garrett, you're right. I mean, the pressure up front starts with 95.
Correct.
And, he NFLPA All-Pro, got voted on by the players.
I saw that. I was very excited for that.
So for all the Pittsburgh fans that are screaming TJ's better than Garrett, the players don't agree this year.
Yep.
So, Garrett's been on, this is 2 years now. So this is the second year in a row that they've had the NFLPA All-Pro.
Okay.
Where the players vote on who goes. And Myles Garrett's now 2 for 2. And so is, shout out, Joel Petonio.
Yeah. I also like seeing that.
Yep. So we've got 2 All-Pros in that regard. And that's awesome because, not every team gets an All-Pro. It's a lot more selective, obviously, than Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
So Pro Bowl is like, that's cool. But All-Pro is like the next tier up. Yeah, that's elite. Because, yes. Like Lamar Jackson is the All-Pro quarterback.
Yeah.
It's not like there's 3 from each conference. So.
Yep.
Good stuff for them. We'll kind of shift over here. Grant Delpit. So we had good news this week and, some not so great news. So yeah. Grant Delpit was designated to return from IR, but, he practiced the last 2 days, which is cool. It means he's out there. He's ready to go for the most part. He's just not going to play this game.
Yeah. Shut him down. Yep.
So that sucks because Delpit, a Pro Bowl alternate this year, just, man, was he having a stud season.
Great season, yeah. And, it's another opportunity for D'Anthony Bell to slide in, see what he's got.
Ronnie Hickman.
And that's another thing, like with Juan Thornhill too. Like if Juan Thornhill can't go, I have a lot of confidence in either one of those guys, stepping in, starting, doing whatever they have to. But man, the injuries and stuff. I was really, really hoping for Delpit to be back. Another guy, if we're just hitting injuries like that, another guy they said's not going to play this weekend's D-Hop. I think that's another
huge.
Super huge injury that we kind of went into it going, well, hey, maybe there's some optimism. Maybe he will be ready. And it just sucks because you get hurt chasing down a friggin' kick returner in the last time we played these guys. So
Yeah.
it's just,
It sucks. Riley Patterson, though, I know that the game we saw him miss an extra point, not ideal against the Jets. I think it kind of forced Kevin's hand on that fourth down attempt where Tillman quit running his route, and you know we didn't get it. But I think Riley Patterson, as much as it sucks to not have Hopkins, who's the best kicker in football,
make that argument,
top 2 maybe this year with the Cowboys Aubrey.
Yeah,
he was voted to the All-Pro.
Yeah,
it was him and Hopkins were right there neck and neck. So that really sucks. But I do think Riley Patterson, he's not a terrible kicker. Right. We detailed his stats. I forget him off the top of my head, but you know, I think he played like 13 games this year with the Lions. He only missed 2 field goals, maybe
2 extra points.
Oh, that's right. He was 100% field goals, wasn't he? Yeah. So 2 extra points, which we saw that problem creep up again against the Jets. But we're going to need field goals because the last time we played Houston, we're down there, no kicker, no punter, going for it on fourth down every time, 2 every time. So
we kind of talked about, you know, the play calling and stuff like that. Do you think it would be altered with him being out? I think like it just is situational. Like I think Stefanski is an aggressive play caller anyway. So I don't think it's going to change a whole ton. Like, and also I kind of feel like, you know, the mantra of the team's do your job, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to put faith in this kid. I don't think that they're going to just go, oh, well, hey, we're going to go for 2 points every time. We're going to go crazy. If it's 4th and 15, we're, you know, on goal type deal, we're going to go for it. I think that they're going to give this kid a chance until he lets us down. I could see if he gets off to a really, really rough start and he's, you know, he mixes in an extra point or a couple field goals, then maybe things get drastic and extreme. But I don't think that it's just we're playing like we have no kicker.
No, I do think, and Blake was kind of talking about this earlier in the week with us in our chat, and I agree. I think that it will kind of shift Kevin's tendency to maybe be more aggressive on like a 4th and 2.
Yeah.
Depending on where we are, you know. Now, if we're inside the 30 and it's almost like an easier field goal, a chip shot type deal, okay, I think we probably go ahead and take the points. We'll see. I mean, you never know with Kevin. You never know. He's not the only coach like that, by the way. I mean, there's a lot of, Dan Campbell, what the hell? But anyway,
I like the attitude of it though. Like, go win the team, go win the game, go win the whole damn thing real quick, you know?
Yeah. So we'll see. That's a big loss. But I wanted to go back to the, you know, Delpit being out. We were talking about Ronnie Hickman, and this quote's been going around Twitter all week from Jim Schwartz, and he said that Ronnie Hickman, the undrafted free agent out of Ohio State this year, communicates as well as any rookie safety he's ever coached.
It's crazy.
That's
high praise.
That is high praise.
High praise.
That's high praise, man.
Yeah.
So if we can get 75% of the output from, you know, that we would get from Grant Delpit out of Ronnie Hickman, which I feel like we've been getting. He's been like the highest graded rookie safety over the last however many weeks, PFF. Yep. He's been playing very well. So very impressed with Ronnie Hickman. It sucks not having Delpit, but, you know, I still have confidence with Hickman in there.
Yep. I agree. And that's, to hear that from Jim Schwartz, it's like, I mean, we knew guys were stepping up all over the place. It's injuries. If there's a theme to this season, it's been, Jesus, please just, I don't want to see the injury or something, like injury list. I don't want to see the report. I'm tired. I was so tired of on a Tuesday seeing, we're just adding 2 or 3 more players, you know, injury reserve or whatever like that. But I'm optimistic. We've said it a million times on this show, just next man up, do your job, just go 1-0 this week. And if you don't think that locker room is going to be hype, I mean, obviously Houston's going to be excited too. They're a very, I think that we talked about it. They went into the season, I don't think with like crazy high expectations. Not a lot of people gave them a shot. Also like Cleveland. So I think that this team is going to be ready to roll.
Yeah, I misspoke earlier. Mike Ford is not listed as out. He's been practicing limited. He's questionable heading into the weekend. So my bad on that. The other one who is ruled out already is Cedric Tillman. Yeah, with the concussion. We didn't expect him to play in this one. Very few guys at all come back the very next week after a concussion to play. So we do not have Cedric Tillman. It is Amari Cooper. Let me see what he was.
I was going to say, and he has not.
He practiced in full today.
Okay,
so he's been out all week, resting the heel, practiced in full today. No updates on that, so it sounds like he's good to go.
Cool. How about Elijah Moore?
I don't even think Elijah Moore's on here.
Okay.
Because he played last week against
Correct.
the Bengals.
Yep.
So he's back. He's ready to go. We've got our top 2 guys, and we've got David Njoku.
Yep.
I love what David Njoku has done this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of come like a coming out party. I mean, he's
Very much.
I mean, he played well with Watson, but man, the last, 5-6 games, yikes. Like,
Yeah.
elevated himself into talks of, like top 5 tight ends, easy. He's a stud.
So
he's impossible to bring down.
For the season, David Njoku, 882 yards, 608 of those yards have been after the catch.
It's crazy. Crazy.
That is 60. I had to look at my screen here. It's real small. That is 68.9% of his total yards have been after the catch. It's almost 70%.
It's wild.
That's insane.
It's wild.
He's nuts. And yes, he does have a huge rack.
Yeah. Hot dang. I'm not going to take it any further than that.
I can actually do that.
Hot dang.
There you
There we
go. So with Tillman out, do you see any other guys as far as wide receivers getting, I guess, more shine? Maybe like David Bell,
I think
Goodwin.
Goodwin has a role.
Situational,
I would
right.
say Goodwin's kind of like in the wide receiver core, the same as Kareem Hunt in the running backs.
Yeah.
He's got his role. You're not going to put him out of that role because he's not good at anything else.
That's fair. Okay.
Nothing against Kareem Hunt. He's a great short yardage and goal line back.
Yep.
He no longer has speed or explosion.
Yep.
He just doesn't have it. And that's fine.
Yep.
He's really good at what they ask him to do. Same with Goodwin. A guy can get down the field.
Yep.
And
Take the top off.
If we can just get one deep shot, to connect with him, then he's done his role for the game. But I do think David Bell.
Okay.
Because, I mean, he stepped up last week.
I agree.
We were hoping it would be Cedric Tillman. I know he's a rookie, so I think he just needs a little more time. But it was nice to see Bell after really nothing all season. We haven't heard much, seen much.
Few seasons.
Well, last year, not much at all.
Yeah.
Very high on him coming into this season, and it was very low utilization. And there he goes, pops off for like 68 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's cool.
Yep.
I know it was late in the game. I know
garbage time.
all that.
That's going to be the argument about it. But no, I mean,
But you still have to catch the ball. You still have to run the route. You still got to make the play. So
I agree.
I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's any other injury stuff that we really need to talk about. Anything that you're thinking?
As far as injuries,
Yeah.
no, not for us.
Okay, then we can shift over to them. I know it looks like they're going to have Will Anderson Jr. back.
Played practice limited
today.
First time this week.
Yeah,
correct?
first time this week. Yeah, so he's still questionable going in the weekend.
Right. Another guy. We
Rookie.
didn't. Yeah, we didn't have to deal with him the first time around.
No, we did not.
He's very good. He is very good. Like we said, he's going to be another guy coming in limited, so he's not going to be 100%. But I expect him to be out there.
I do too. I think that the Texans took Stroud, number 2, traded, I think, both the Browns picks from last year and this year. First round picks.
I do not know that.
I don't think I heard somebody say today they don't want to have a first round pick in 24, so they must have taken ours from 24 and sent it to, what was it, Arizona they traded for to come back up to 3, took Will Anderson, and I think they're going to have offensive rookie of the year and defensive rookie of the year out of those 2 picks. So, I mean, when you can hit like that, you got your leader on offense, your leader on defense. The nice thing is these guys are both still rookies.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco has faced pressure this year, and he's performed very well.
Yeah.
I mean, what else do you want me to say? He's not even very well is like kind of like a slam on him.
I was going to say maybe an underselling of it.
Effing awesome.
Yes. Yeah. So if we're going to kind of go, if we're talking about pressure and stuff like that, and Joe Flacco.
Okay. You want to flack around a little bit?
I think we'd maybe just transition into, I hope, so he's been kind of playing with house money, right? This whole little run. I'm very nervous that if we go into that game and there's a pick 6 or
we can't do that.
multiple turnovers, because we haven't really had to pay for them yet, for the most part.
Right.
We haven't had to, it hasn't been like a huge, like, oh, that's it for us. So biggest concern is turnovers going into this game, man. I don't want him to play differently. I don't want him to be conservative.
Yeah, I know.
But that is my only worry. If there's something that could spell disaster for this game, it's that. And then we kind of talked about it before the show. Browns leading the league in turnovers. Houston leading the league in not turnovers.
Fewest turnovers. What do they have? 14 on the season? Now, when your rookie quarterback throws 5 interceptions all season, that sure helps that low number.
Pretty good. Yes.
You know what I mean? Joe Flacco blew past that a couple weeks ago. The Browns at 37 leading the league in turnovers. Yes. So we were talking about before the show, that's kind of the main key. Yeah, keep pressure on CJ Stroud. Yeah, lock down their receivers. Don't let Devin Singletary gash you up the middle on the run game. Yep. If we turn the ball over on our side of the field, if we gift them short fields, easy scores, or just straight up hand them touchdowns, I don't think we can win the game. I think this would be the game that we lose.
It'd be a very uphill battle, and it would take huge performances, not only from the defense, but also I feel like you just put your offense in a tough spot.
Yes. Now, again, we did the preview for the first time we played the Texans back on Christmas Eve, Week 16, and keys of the game, areas where we can exploit them. It's the same. I mean, it's the same then or now as it was then. They have the number 6 ranked rush defense. We're not going to be able to run the ball on them.
That's fair.
They held us to 1.8 yards a carry. We ran the ball 30 times for 54 yards the last game. Okay. Pathetic. Yeah. We couldn't do jack on the ground. And I don't think we're going to do jack on the ground this time. Now, can Jerome Ford break off a home run, play? Sure. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. He can do that at any moment. It just doesn't happen very often.
Right.
That's the thing. Home runs don't happen very often. Now, he's not a base hitter.
Right. And I see him doing more damage as far as, with Flacco throwing to him than him running the ball.
Yeah, I think that could be
I think you have to run the ball some just to keep them honest. You can't just go complete one-dimensional and just...
I'm just saying, don't expect a big output. Don't expect a lot of success.
That's very, very fair.
You're going to be frustrated when we're just running into the backs of guys and getting stopped at the line, losing 2 yards. It's going to happen.
Don't lose your mind. Take a deep breath.
Because it plays right into what the Browns are doing well. They are the 23rd ranked pass defense. We saw it last time. Joe Flacco lit them up for 368 yards, 265 to Amari Cooper. It was so much fun to watch.
Yep. Came out and punched him in the mouth.
And I'm going to tell you right now that, unless our defense just completely collapses, CJ Stroud isn't thrown for 368 yards on our defense.
I would be...
No one has.
I would be very, very surprised. Our defense has had moments where they don't travel as well on the road.
Right.
And have...
Houston was the last time they did.
Yeah, correct.
So that's good. Yep. That's a good sign. I think they're going to be up for this game.
I do too.
I really do.
I don't think there's any way that we come into this game flat. And just the things that we said at the beginning of the season, you can't go down 14-0 right off the bat. You can't do it. We can't play like this where we're always coming back and trying to overcome. And it's fun. It's fun to watch when we win. But I think with this game, how the stakes are going to be, I feel like you have to just play smart, strategic football. And I think that's what you're going to see.
Yeah. Kind of to go back to the stat that you listed out earlier in the show, I just want to, but I want to shout out Peter R. in the Discord. Appreciate you guys all posting this stuff in here. This is from Jake Trotter. I think you said Stroud, QBR versus zone 73.9, 27th in the league versus man 38.8, and we run man the 3rd highest rate in the NFL, almost 40% of the time. That's awesome. And if the Texans win this game, it would be the first time since 2009 that a rookie first round quarterback has won a playoff game.
Wow. Do you know who that quarterback is?
Mark Sanchez.
Oh, that was the defense. The Jets defense won. Come on now.
And Houston doesn't have that defense, so that's good.
Okay.
We were kind of talking about before the show, Joe Flacco, and is he nervous at all, coming into this, or is the team, how are they feeling? I think that his experience,
it's just huge.
His experience in the league, his experience in the playoffs, and I got some numbers here. Posted these on Twitter earlier. So Joe Flacco, January Joe.
Okay.
10-5 record in the playoffs for his career. Undefeated 5-0 in wildcard games. And in those wildcard games, and he actually had one game in Baltimore, I think it was the second time he ever played in the playoffs. He only had to complete 4 passes for 34 yards in the entire game for the win.
Oh, wow.
I think it was Ray Rice had like 250 some yards rushing. They just stomp the Patriots.
Probably going to need a bigger output from him if we're going to, if we get 34 yards out of Joe Flacco. Boy,
so even with that game where he only had 34 yards in his career in wild card games, Joe Flacco's teams have their average margin of victory is 17.6 points. Wow. 3 scores, average passing yards, 195, and that's with that 34-yard, dunker.
Right.
6 touchdowns and a pick.
Okay.
He's tied with Tom Brady for the most playoff road victories at 7. Since he became the Browns starter, he's averaging 323.2 yards per game, 13 touchdowns, 9 turnovers. We got to limit those. But he has a 70.4% adjusted completion percentage. The dude is playing ball.
Yep. And he has my thing with him is he's playing with house money. He really he's getting an opportunity that he didn't think he was going to have. He was sitting on his couch and just came in and just balled out. And he was just absolutely what we needed when we thought the team couldn't, as far as us as a fan base, we couldn't get any more heartbroken about how the direction of the season was going to head. Just a weird year. Oh my God. Who would have thought, we all have laughed about this, Joe Flacco, Cleveland Browns quarterback, leading us into the playoffs. What? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it is, and it's crazy because 10 years ago, I'd have been over my dead body. You know what I mean? As a Cleveland Browns fan, I'd have been we don't want him.
Yeah.
Send him out of here. Get him out of here. So it is cool. But yeah, man, hopefully those stats continue.
Hopefully they do. Yeah, Kenny, I see you here in the chat. Don't worry, got the voicemails coming, and we'll just go ahead and kick off. We got 2. Okay. We got Kenny, we got Brad. Here's Kenny Mack.
Yo, guys, it is Kenny Mack, and we are witnessing history. Congrats to Bitonio and Garrett on their All-Pros. Keep stacking them, boys. And God willing, Chubb, come back and stack a couple more. The Discord's been killing it. I've got a ton of info for this game. You know what? Peter R's been killing it too. He put this in there. Mac Jones, Lamar, Luck, and RG3. All rookie wild card quarterbacks, 0-4, and they only average 15 points a game. CJ Stroud, his QBR against man, 38.8. And what do we do the best? We play man. Then the only thing we really got to do is we got to contain Nico Collins. I'm a little concerned about our receiver depth. I mean, Tillman doesn't look like he's going to go. Do you play Belmore? Is it going to be more 2 tight end sets this game? And if there is more 2 tight end sets, I want to see a little bit more Hunt. So my prediction, 28-15, Cleveland Browns. Let's go, baby. Playoffs.
Love it.
Love it. That's my guy.
Why don't we'll stick with voicemails. We'll just do Brad real quick, and then we'll kind of talk about everything they said here.
What's up, guys? Super Bowl, Super Browns. This is Brad Moneymaker coming at you hot, baby, hot. We got a wild card weekend. What did they call it? Super wild card playoff weekend? Yep. And guess what? Guess who has the first one? We do. We got January Joe. We got this whole team locked and loaded and ready to roll. Does the injury to Denzel Ward kind of suck? What? Not having Grand Delpit kind of suck? What? Not having D-Hop kind of suck? What? But you know what? Next man up, boys. We got this. Our secondary is playing so hot right now, and I'm not even worried. Will we not have a run game? Who knows? We'll see what happens. I'm so stoked for Saturday. I'm more pumped about this playoff game than the previous. I don't know about you guys. Also, I want to know from Justin and Josh, who is your favorite WWE legend? No stops. All right, guys, let's get this, man. Let's get this W Saturday.
Did you watch wrestling?
I'm going to tell you right now, I have not a clue. I'm not a wrestling guy. I'm not a fan. I don't watch it. So I got nothing for you, Brad. Sorry, buddy.
So I just to address one thing with his voicemail with Brad's, are we not loose as a fan base right now? Like, I feel like we're just super loose. Like,
dude, I love the energy.
Like, we're excited.
Great. The chat's been saying the whole time, can't wait till Saturday. Can't wait. So pumped.
What curse? I don't care. I don't care about a Cleveland curse. I don't care about it. But so let me address this wrestling question really quick. As a youngster, I haven't watched wrestling in, since I was like young, like 9, 10 years old. But what I used to do is I would watch WWF. It was Raw. And it was on Monday nights, right? So you had Stone Cold, The Rock. I actually liked like Kane and Undertaker. Maybe even a little Goldust. They were just, but it was mostly Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was the guy. And then, Nitro, which was the other wrestling federation, that was WCW. That came on at the same time, but they would replay it at 1 o'clock in the morning. So I would stay up and sneak downstairs, and then I would watch that. I was, for Nitro, I was a real big DDP, Diamond Dallas Page fan. Pow, pow, pow. That's all I got. But and then I really liked Goldberg when he came out. But also,
I feel like I missed a lot, man.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot going on when I was a kid. Like just Mankind. Like there was some really cool stuff going on. But yeah, that's what I used to do. That was my thing. That was a big part of my childhood. Actually, I had all like the little wrestling rink, all the figures. I was super into it. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, cool. That's a good enough answer.
That's why I say brother all the time. Obviously, come on, let me tell you something, brother. Little maybe macho. There's a lot of them, but
that's great. This is
a Browns podcast. We're just
the chat went with it. They're all talking about it too now, so that's really cool. You guys have a good time with that.
Oh, sorry, Generation X. Yeah. I'm seeing some. There was a lot.
Yep. So I think, before we kind of wrap things up with, any kind of predictions or anything like that, we got to talk about some news that came out regarding the quarterback position.
Yes.
And who the Browns have decided to stick with as Joe Flacco's backup for the playoffs. Came out, what was it, yesterday? The Browns are rolling with Jeff Driscoll as QB2 for the playoffs over PJ Walker. And we were talking about it before the show. Justin said, do you want to hear my thoughts on that? I said, nope, give it to me live. So let's hear it.
Okay. I'm going to be honest. We've really been very tough on PJ on this show, right? We've been very, very questionable decision-making at quarterback. What I'll say though is maybe I'm way off here. I think this is kind of a miss. I'm not going to lie. So with Driscoll, maybe I was just so unimpressed. And you're just coming in, you're literally just starting right off the bat. It's a game that doesn't matter. Starters aren't really playing, but I was very, very unimpressed. And the idea that they just named him the backup like this, at least with PJ, there would be some questionable decision-making, right? And you knew there was going to be some turnovers here and there, but I thought at least that guy could sling the ball around and move it around and we could drive. And it's not like this guy he had rough games, but he beat San Francisco and Cleveland. You know what I mean? It wasn't him per se, but he was the quarterback when we did that. That Seattle game, he was leading them up and down the field. You know what I mean?
Well, and he stepped in the Colts game whenever he wasn't prepared to be the starter, play that game. So that was impressive. It wasn't great.
I'm not, and that's the thing. I think that you have to look at it we're not talking about if we need a guy we're going into the playoffs and who's our starter. PJ Walker wouldn't be my pick, but
So
I'm interested in what you think though.
All right. So let's put it this way. If anything happens to Joe Flacco, we're effed either way.
I completely agree with that.
We are totally flacked. And you like that?
Yeah, that's good.
Natus the Greatest says he got his flack around and find out t-shirt today. That's cool. Right. You guys wear those things on Saturday. Get ready for this. But, with PJ Walker, I felt like PJ Walker was okay as a game manager.
Okay.
He was not going to go out there and win you anything with his arm. Okay. I didn't feel like he had the decision-making. I mean, come on, the 49ers game.
I know.
Kevin
double
says,
coverage.
Run the ball, PJ. We're going to do an end-around quarterback, whatever, draw, and he throws the ball.
Right.
Damn near gets it picked. Would have lost that game.
Yeah.
And I think some of those decision-making errors on his part, and like I said, the fact that he's more of a game manager when your run game's going, you're chipping away at the other team, you're clock managing, all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think PJ's probably your best bet. But with the way this team is now with no run game, There's not a whole lot we can do on the ground, and it's just such an air raid attack with Joe Flacco, and he's got the big arm. I saw that. Well, one part of the decision was Driscoll was with the quarterback coach for the Browns, Drew, was it Petsky or something like that? So the quarterback coach was with Driscoll when he was in Arizona.
Okay.
So he's got
comfortability.
Yeah, there's some familiarity there. They've worked together before, and they just feel more confident. This is what I read, that Driscoll can make all the throws on the field. He's got a stronger arm. And I just feel like, God forbid anything happens to Flacco, it's going to still be an air raid attack. It's not like we can just turn to the run game and let them bail us out. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So obviously he threw a couple picks last week. He looked awful. No starters.
Yeah.
So you got to think,
that's
if we
fair.
have our starting offensive line in the game, if we've got Njoku and Cooper and Moore and Ford and all these guys out there with him, can Driscoll do enough to win you a game, partway through if need be? The Browns seem to think he's the better fit.
And that's the thing is I trust that management and the coaches and all of it. So if they make that decision, I'm very okay with it. I don't know. I watched that Cincinnati game, and as Browns fans, I don't know how many of you watched that whole thing, but to me, it was woof and a bad woof. It wasn't a dog barking woof. It was the
whole game was bad.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of surprised. And they announced, Van Pelt announced it pretty quick. Like, hey, he's going to be the backup. But you're right. If Flacco goes down, I don't want to get us kicked off the air, but we are fucked. Just straight up. That is what it is. The confidence level and the looseness as Browns fans.
Yep. Yep. Well, it was a fun year. Yeah, sure was.
I keep playing, but we could still lean on the defense. See, crazier things have happened.
Yeah, and so if you're watching our show and you're following this podcast, religiously, I'm not speaking to you guys when I say this, but there are people online that are saying Andrew Berry's a terrible GM. And Browns front office really screwed up by not having a better backup quarterback plan going into the playoffs. And it's like, we're on QB4 for the season. We are damn lucky that a starting caliber quarterback was even available at week 13 when we needed him or whenever it was.
Yep.
You think that there's a high caliber backup quarterback waiting to come and just be signed? Absolutely not. So, it's slim pickings, and the comfort level was obviously just higher with Driscoll.
It's crazy.
And who knows what they see in practice too?
Yeah.
At practice, he's probably throwing to, more of the ones and stuff on certain drills and things like that. And come on, that first interception was just, it sucked. And he overthrew Tillman, but Tillman stopped.
Yeah.
Completely botched the route. I don't know what the hell he was doing. I don't know. Maybe it's not a horrible thing.
Yep.
That we're going to have to go on other options in the playoffs.
But I'm very confident going into it. We're going to lean on the defense, let Joe go out there, sling it around. Shock the world.
The recipe is there for a win.
Yeah.
It really is. I don't know about you. I guess we'll dive into it now. I expect a win. I expect the Browns to come out victorious. It's just, Houston's a great story. They had a great season. Yep. They've got a great team. They're going to be a team to deal with in the future for sure. Consistently every year. But I just don't think this year. Rookie quarterback, track record, they do not win in the playoffs. It just has not happened. This is the best defense in the NFL.
Okay.
They're up for this. And Joe Flacco's playing the best football maybe of his life. He's had some really great years, but this stretch run, without the turnovers suck. But this stretch run, what he's doing is
incredible. Get the 30 for 30 ready.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
Cleveland, we're bringing 2 30 for 30s home. We're going to have Believe Land, then we're going to have whatever they're going to call this thing when the SIG's all over. Because it is a crazy, crazy game, or a crazy, crazy season that we're living through right now. Especially just couldn't happen to a more deserving fan base. I'm super excited. But
absolutely.
So let me throw a score prediction out there. I do think that this isn't going to be like a blowout. I don't think that we're going to be pulling starters or anything. I don't see any kind of resemblance to the first game. So I will say Cleveland Browns win 27-21.
Oh, okay.
That is it. That's all I got. That's all I got.
I think I'm going to roll. I like that 27, but I'm going to go just a little bit more. Let's go third. I think it is kind of a wider margin. I think it's going to be like 30-17.
Ooh, I'd like that.
I feel like every time I predict the Browns to like keep an opponent low in the score, they come right out and score like 2 touchdowns in the first half. It's like, damn. But then they get shut out the second half or something like that. So this is playoff football. Everybody's 0-0. Ronald Harper chat, I just saw it, says going to be a tough game. I think so, but at the end of the day, I think we're going to prevail. I think our defense is just too stingy for these guys right now.
Yep. I like that. I then just keep doing what has gotten you to this point.
Right. Just quit turning the ball over.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to turn the ball over, just do it like once. If you feel the need to do it, just get that one out of there and then go about your business.
Yeah, no kidding.
We did say something too crazy. Browns this year won the turnover battle. How many games? What did we say? 1?
Oh, I thought you said 2.
Maybe 2?
2.
Okay. Regardless, not a trend.
We've only had 1 game without a turnover at all on offense. So, I know we sit here and we say, don't turn the ball over. We've been saying that all year. I expect 2. We've been saying that for the last month and a half now. If we can just keep it to 2 turnovers and no more than that, and it's on their side of the field, we'll be okay. I think that still applies.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just
don't want to live like that no more.
Points.
I just don't want to live like that no more. I just don't want that to be the narrative of this team. Forever.
I know, man. Yep. Gage says do it on their side of the 50. Absolutely, man. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. I am pumped for Saturday.
Me too, brother. Me too.
Man,
can't come any sooner. 48 hours. Pretty much.
Yeah, we're
down. We're down under 48 hours. But just be patient, guys. Don't freak out. Just take it all in.
Andrew Jackson, I haven't seen you in the chat. I know you'll be in Discord. I will be on the ledge. It's how I do this. It's how I watch games, man. I'll be on the ledge. You're just going to have to deal with it.
That's fair.
Blake will probably have tummy problems.
You know what you need to do is you need to like just get you a glass of whiskey or something and like a cigar. And just relax, man. Just go out. Just say, hey, listen.
Yeah.
I'm going to go out in the garage for a little bit. And then just come back in. You'll probably smell like a cigar. It'll be whatever, man. But it'll be like a victory cigar, okay?
Oh, yeah.
But no, I'm super stoked. Good luck to the team. Can't wait. I can't wait to, talk about it with you guys. Very excited.
Yeah. So I guess we're just a couple of housekeeping things. Again, like I said, at the top of the show, if you want to get into the Discord you see everybody in the chat, everybody with the stickers next to their name, everybody talking about Discord. If you want to get into that the Dog Pack community, go to jointhedawgs.com, become a member on our Patreon page. The lowest tier is just $5 a month. What's that? A cup of coffee a month to be in the community. You get access to the Discord. You can do the 7-day free trial, still get access to the Discord, and then you'll be in there for Sunday. And if you're like, this wasn't all that great for me, it wasn't what I was expecting, then just bow out. But more than not, people are sticking around, having a good time and getting to know each other.
Fun. We've
developed some really good friendships in there and all that kind of good stuff. There was one other thing I was going to say. I really can't remember what it was now. Okay. Sunday. Yes. That's what I was going to talk about. Sunday, we are going to do a live show. I think it's going to be around 4:30.
Okay.
Ish. So win or lose on Saturday, we'll be here to recap the game on Sunday, and hopefully we'll be in a really good mood.
Yep.
But like you said at the beginning, it's house money for the fans. We talked about it before the show. You cannot convince me that there's another team right now in the NFL that would suffer the amount of key injuries that we've suffered all season long.
Yes.
All the adversity and still be favored going on the road in the wild card round. You can't tell me that any other team right now could do that. So we said it before the show. I'll say it now. Realistically, the Browns shouldn't even be here.
It's fair.
In a normal situation in the NFL, this would never happen.
Yep.
This is
but then I bet if you ask that locker room, they don't care about all that.
Exactly. That's why it's a special team. These guys are bought in. These guys are.
Yep.
The brotherhood is so cool.
I like
man.
it. I like the chemistry. It's crazy. Let's go on this ride together, guys. I can't wait. I'm excited to flip some cars over in about a month in Cleveland. The night of the Super Bowl. Very excited. Can't wait. Just so we all know what we're doing. Make your plans now. Not to forecast anything. Also, Cleveland police that are watching this, I will not be flipping any cars.
Justin was kidding.
That was a joke. Not kidding. I'll definitely burn that town down. I can't wait. Let's go. Let's go, guys. But let's start and let's take it one game at a time. 1-0. Kevin's, motto the whole season. Let's go win this first one, and then let's just see what happens. But let's go get it.
Yep. And last thing, somebody posted in the chat here. Yes, today is the last day. $15 tees on our store site, thedawgspodcast.com/shop. Go get yourself a Flack Around and Find Out shirt like I'm wearing. You can get a Wacko for Flacco shirt. We got those too. You can get a whatever F and Take shirt. I'm just throwing them up on the screen here for people to see. And yeah, order some Omaha steaks too. That's good stuff.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
All right. Well, I think we'll wrap it up. Appreciate everybody being here. Just get ready. This is going to be a fun weekend of playoff football. Cleveland Browns kick off the NFL playoff season, the postseason for this year. It just couldn't come at a better time. And I think we're rolling. I think we're hot. We're on fire. I think we got this. I think we're good.
Can't wait. Let's bring it home, guys.
Go Browns. Love you guys. And we will see you on Sunday.